Hey guys, Romie here. So yeah, this is the recap for Big Brother 18, Episode 6. And Victor better be thankful, that he can win competitions because, I don't know, I don't know if he's too trustworthy, too trusting or just too honest, but he's just blabbing everything. And that's where I'm like, okay, at least with Paul, he's smart enough to not just put everything out there. But I know this is how bad it is right now. I'm talking about Victor and Paul. But as we know, the episode starts off with what's her name, Natalie. She's the first one down, and she's like, oh, well, you know, I'm a dancer, I'm a ballerina. No, she's a dancer and all of this, so she can't believe she got out. I can. Poor Davon's team. Davon, Paul, and Zakia. The thing with their team is Davon and Zakia are going really slow. They want to make sure that they don't pull a Natalie at this point. So they're going really slow. Paul's like, Lord Jesus, we're never going to win the competition, are we? Possibly not. Now that I think about it, possibly not. But they have that. Frank's team is solid. Frank's team is racking it up. Everyone on Frank's team is pulling their weight. Paulie, Frank, Tiffany, and who was the last one? Not sure. But Nicole's team, because she's out, because she was HOH last week, she has the issue of it's only Corey and someone else. I can't think of it right now. But Victor's team, the problem is that Victor is doing really well. Of course, Bronte was actually doing really well. So was James. The issue with James, though, is that James throws the competition. And it was obvious. It was obvious. These are people who've actually watched the show before, so they can tell when someone's throwing the competition. He threw it, and I'm thinking, Lord James, you have no idea how much that just screwed you up. It's not like it truly mattered because their goal was to get out the veterans anyway, and they personally didn't really like you anyway, so there is that. Now Frank is doing a little bit too much too quickly. He's thinking that he's using the Derek strategy and approach, but it's not working because Frank is spreading himself too thin already. Frank went and divulged the fact that, you know what, I voted out because I voted out Jozea. I voted out Jozea because I knew that's where the numbers were at the end. And he was like, so of course I voted for Paulie at that time. And even Victor called. It's just like, yo, this dude really wants me to go and trust him for divulging the fact that he voted out my friend? Come on now. And I didn't know about it until after it happened, or like right before, after it happened. Ridiculous. And too bad he didn't keep that type of logic. Now, like I said, Jose and Bronte, at the time, they didn't really think about the fact that, what's his name? Damn, what's the dude's name? That James threw the competition. But later on, once it was over, because yes, they did lose, the winner was Frank's team. And the reason why they won was for a simple fact. Frank had 4 strong people. What was it, 4 or 3 strong people there, and everyone else was playing, weakened. Well, Bridget doesn't count because Bridget's only okay. Let's just be honest. Michelle was booking it. I think Bridget actually, she might have been doing well too. But Paulie becomes HOH. The newbies are upset because, like I said, James threw it, and they're thinking to themselves, damn, they're really alone. They're really by themselves. James is thinking it's all good. He did such a great job throwing the competition. I'm wondering, in what world does he think he did a great job throwing the competition? Now, Victor was crying because he was just like, you know what? I have this dude who I don't even like who's throwing competitions on my team, and they just kicked out my friend. I know I could be next. I'm thinking, yes, of course you can be next. It's really going to be you because Paulie doesn't like you since you were going after him. It really could be you. It could be Bronte. It could be Paul. Paulie has so many people to choose from. It could be Natalie. All of you voted against him, so it'd be very easy for him to decide, you know what, go scratch. I mean, that's it. And James goes and consoles Natalie. I'm thinking, okay, they're not on the same team, so that's alright. James is a flirt, though. He's been flirting in this house the whole time. But Paul tries to go and give this speech of, we can't trust Davon or Zakia. He's right, but they can't. even though I wouldn't mind seeing Paul and Bronte leaving the house together at the same time, but at this point, what we have to work with is what we have to work with. So he realizes, if you're telling me the truth, which Natalie voted out Paul E, then that means that we just have to go and band together. And I'm thinking, yeah, there's not enough of you anymore. There just isn't. So Victor's thinking, you know, let me use this charm over here and talk to Paulie, even though, of course, it's not going to work on him, and figure out how the hell am I going to go and get myself out of... I know I voted against you and I was pretty vocal as far as having my friends stay in the house, but you know, that shows how loyal I am. That shows how loyal I am. And you know, Bronte, come here too. We'll all be loyal for you. And it was just like, we're all really strong, so we can go and band together. I'm thinking, are you trying to make sure that you stay in this house, or are you trying to make sure that you get kicked out? Because I'll tell you this right now. This is how it works in the real world. Why would you tell someone that you're stronger, not stronger, but really strong and can compete, and say, and you voted them out even though they didn't end up leaving the house, and then flip it and say, but I'll work so hard for you. I'll work so hard for you. That is not how the real world works. In the real world, it's, oh, so you're the one that, okay, I got something for the ass, because I can't have someone like that potentially kick me out. And have you guys noticed? Oh yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Have you guys noticed that this season it's been mainly physical competitions? I'm not complaining. I really appreciate it. It's like the BB roadkill is where I think they'll have more so the strategy stuff for the most part. But I do appreciate the fact that, because everyone in the cast is fit, so they have a lot more physical competitions, i.e. it's actually more interesting to watch. It actually is. And also, they aren't doing the diary room reveals anymore. I mean, the HOH room reveals anymore. And I really appreciate that. And it looks like they don't have like the personal stuff shown anymore as well. Which is good, because one, they kind of dragged this show down when people are all emotional, crying like, I'm just so happy to see you. No, that's not happening this season. And also, if they're going to do a siblings thing again, like they did with this season, then it's probably better for them not to show who these people's siblings are. So, good call on their part. Like, these little tweaks have really made this, elevated the show in my opinion. And we have Corey, who's in the HOH room with Paulie and Paul. And Paul, right now, Paul is making a deal, not with the devil, because it's Paulie, but making a deal, and he doesn't even know it. So Paulie's just like, you know what, Paul? I don't have an issue with you. I have an issue with Victor. And I know you two are close, but here's how this is going to work. I'm going to put you up. You're going to be okay with it because you're not my target. You are not my target. So what you're going to do is you're going to stay quiet, and I'll make sure that Victor goes out of the house, and you're good. I'm thinking, yeah, it is better to take out Victor right now because Victor is more so a wild card. I feel like you can work with Paul to a certain degree, but Paul still has to go too. He has to go sooner rather than later. I don't want someone like Paul and Jury. I'm trying to tell them, you do not want someone like Paul and Jury, because he's going to go against you whether you think he is or he isn't. And so Paul, he's willing to take the deal, at least as of now, because he doesn't have much of a choice. Like I said, James has been flirting, and Devon has been the commentator regarding James's flirting. And I'm like, okay, but did he flirt with you yet? Not that it matters, because of course you're probably like, boy, he probably did. This is James. I don't blame him. Like I said, there's a lot of attractive, fit girls in all of them actually this season. So, what do we have? We have the nomination ceremony. And guess who he nominates? Bronte and Paul. The weird thing about that is Paul already knew. Bronte was just like, Lord, whatever. Whatever's clever. Paulie is thinking, this is great because now he's going to try and do a backdoor Victor. And thinking, Victor can actually win competitions. Are you sure this is the best way? I guess this would be the only way you could possibly effectively do it. I guess it really is the only way you could possibly effectively do it. And it's funny because Victor is thinking that he's safe. And Paul can't go and tell Victor, well, you know, they're playing you. So he's trying to slowly hint at it, but macho mentality is getting the best of him because he's thinking, look, I'm good. I am good. No, you're not. No, you're not. We get this little montage of Corey talking about how he loves Christmas. Makes sense because it's July, so Christmas in July. And Corey, I've already seen it. They're really trying to make him just look like the da-da-da this season. Because of the fact that he has like a very vanilla personality, they're trying to make him just seem like, oh, like a male airhead almost. Like a dur. But, so he was just talking about how he loves everything about Christmas. He spends so much money on Christmas, decking the house out, getting every type of Christmas themed thing you can think of. And Victor's like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that? James was like, oh, once he heard that Corey was talking about Christmas stuff, he was like, oh, James, you savage. He goes downstairs and gets in bed with Natalie. And, you know, he's continuing to flirt with Natalie. But he's like, you know what, I'm going to do something interesting. And he pulls a little jokey joke on Bronte. And it was funny. Of course, he hid in the bed. And Natalie was cracking up. She had to... And then James jumped out. But, aside from that, we have now the BB Roadkill competition. And in the BB Roadkill competition, you have 6 items. 6 items that you need to return. These 6 items need to equal $18. And so, of course, they're priced differently. And so, the quickest you're able to go and get to the $18 with the 6 items, you win. Now, there's a lot of quote-unquote smart people in this house. But this is just one of those competitions where you have Devon, who's a professional with cards. You have Tiffany, who's a high school math teacher. You have... There's just so many people where it's like, wait a minute. You should know this. You should know this. Michelle, Bronte, they all were like, what the hell is this competition? What is going on? Corey, oh, I felt bad for Corey because for Corey, they were just like, yeah, so this has to equal 18. How do I do that? Wait, no, but if I move this, it's like 18 divisible, going to 6, 3 divisible. Yeah, right. I'm like, oh, Lord Jesus. They're really trying to make him look dumber than he really is. We know he's not dumb. But he does say some interesting stuff. If you guys watch the live feeds, you'll know that it's weird because he's like a jock and we'll call him an all-American, traditional all-American jock. So because of that, he has this whole thing of him where he has to look manly, but he does a lot of things that aren't necessarily really that masculine. And so on social media, they go after him. They're like, yeah, so you're the guy who was scared of looking gay like the first 2 weeks or so, but you're the same guy who does a lot of suspect stuff. No, he is an athlete. And I'll tell you this right now, there's a lot of athletes that are very comfortable around other men. Nothing wrong with that at all. But the issue is when they feel like their masculinity is in question. Oh yeah, why did I go off topic? But yeah, so Paul actually goes and he wins it. No, what the hell am I talking about? Paul doesn't win it. No, Paul's thinking that he wins it. Victor is, what is he, a finance major or something like that? So Victor wins it. Long story short, Victor wins it, and everyone else is just like, oh, I can't believe this is happening. They don't know yet. Emphasis on the yet, because you know what Victor does next? It's like, oh my gosh, I won, I have to tell someone. So the first person Victor tells is the one, the only Paulie. And Paulie's like, why the hell would you tell me something like that? But that's great because you think that we're working together, so you kind of trust me even though you shouldn't. Okay. Next person that he tells is Frank. Of all people, Frank. Then Frank is like, oh wow, dude. Oh yeah, congratulations. That's good. Victor, I'm like, Victor, what is wrong with you? Are you here to play Big Brother or not? Paul is telling him what I'm thinking. That's why I'm like, damn it. If I start to like Paul on this show, I'm done. Paul's like, you cannot tell anyone. Why would you tell anyone? Now remember, Paulie knows that Victor shouldn't tell anyone because of the fact that Victor, Paul was already approached about Victor possibly going home. So, Paul's like, look, you need to keep certain things to yourself because you're not as safe as you think you are. Victor's like, I don't care, brah. I know what I know. And what's his name? Victor goes upstairs, and so Tiffany leaves, and Victor's talking to Paulie, and she's like, yeah, so I think we need to put up James, because he's irritated with James. He's done with James. Remember, James is through this competition, so that really pissed him off. So Paul is thinking, no, don't do it. Paulie's like, if James got put up, I'd be fine. If Tiffany got put up, I'd be fine. We have the numbers to, manipulate stuff anyway, so it's not like they'll go home. But, and it's BB roadkill time, and you know who goes up? Tiffany. And of course, that has the 8-pack freaking out, because they're like, okay, someone not in our group got it, and now the antennas are up, and they're ready to go. I'm thinking, okay, it makes sense that Paulie didn't divulge the information because he's not a part of the 8-pack, but the fact that Paulie thinks that it's safe to trust Frank as of now, that's terrifying, because Frank is the person that no one should be trusting. No one. So that was it. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week.